You know, I don't think I'll ever forget the moment I came home that night. You see, I just wrapped up one of the longest weeks of my career as a detective with the Springfield Police Department. A forensics conference in Denver, a week filled with dry lectures and complicated crime scenes. I was just looking forward to collapsing on my couch, cracking open a cold beer, and pretending for a few hours that I didn't have to think about fingerprints or bloodstains. But when I pulled into my driveway on Elmage Drive, something felt off. The crunch of the gravel under my rental car's tires was the first thing I noticed. Then, the smell. You could almost taste it. A nauseating mix of stale pizza, unwashed bodies, spoiled food, and something worse. It hit me like a slap across the face. I took a deep breath, though I don't know why I bothered, and I stepped out of the car. My heart sank, and a wave of dread washed over me as I noticed the front door was slightly ajar. I wasn't prepared for what I'd find inside. I walked through the door, and it was like entering another dimension. My pristine hardwood floors, which I'd polished just last Saturday, were now a patchwork of pizza boxes, beer cans, and God knows what else, some of it I didn't even want to know. My heart dropped, and my brain couldn't process the sight in front of me. The Levying room, which I'd left spotless, was now a disaster zone. It looked like a bomb had gone off in the middle of a garbage dump. I stood there for a second, just processing it all. The TV was blaring some mindless reality show at full volume. Empty plates, covered with rotting food, were stacked on my coffee table, attracting a swarm of flies. My custom leather furniture? Stained, burned, probably ruined. And there, right in the middle of it all, was Bradley Hutchinson, sprawled out like a king on my sectional, his greasy hair hanging over his face, his gut hanging out over my gym shorts, and wearing my favorite Batman t-shirt. I don't think I've ever been more disgusted in my life. And then, it hit me, his was my house, and Bradley was Levying in it. I had no idea when or how he'd gotten there, but he was eating my food, using my bathroom, wearing my clothes, and treating my home like it was his. "Oh, hey there, Mr. Barker," Bradley said, not even looking up from the pizza he was devouring, as if he had every right to be there. "I didn't expect you back so soon. Karen said you'd be gone for like 2 weeks or something." Karen, that was his mother. Karen Hutchinson, my lovely neighbor, who I'd had run-ins with before, but this was a whole new level of insane. "Bradley, what the hell are you doing in my house?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady, but I could feel the rage building in my chest. He looked at me, confused. "Chill out, dude. Karen said it was cool. She said you wouldn't mind if I crashed here for a while. You're always gone, right? Like, working and all that cop stuff. She said we had it worked out." I stood there, mouth agape. We didn't work anything out. The words barely left my mouth before my heart started to race. My brain was still trying to wrap itself around the idea that this 25-year-old man, this lazy, entitled parasite, was Levying in my house without my permission. And to make matters worse, Karen, the same woman who'd been causing me trouble for years, had somehow said him that it was okay to squat in my basement, eating my food, destroying my property. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Bradley dropped the bomb. "Yeah, man," he continued, taking another bite of his pizza. "She said since you're never here, this place was like, just sitting empty. And she thought it'd be perfect for me. You know, to get my life together." I don't know what angered me more, the fact that Bradley thought Levying in my house without permission was a good idea, or the fact that he thought it was some sort of life plan. He'd been Levying here for 6 days. 6 days of utter destruction. He had no idea the havoc he'd wrought. "You're squatting. You're stealing. You're destroying my stuff," I said, my voice low but steady, as I tried to rein in the rage. "This is breaking and entering. This is theft. This is everything I've worked my ass off to protect, and you're ruining it." Bradley, looking as clueless as ever, stood up from the couch, his massive frame towering over me. He was looking more and more like a man-child every second. And then, With all the audacity in the world, he said the words that pushed me past the point of no return. "Don't you dare come at me with that cop attitude," he snarled, jabbing his greasy finger at me. "I've been here for 6 days. That makes me a legal tenant. You can't just kick me out." I couldn't believe it. This fool thought he had rights. Legal rights? I'd never been so tempted to lose it on someone in my life. But I kept calm barely. "You're a criminal, a trespasser, and if you don't pack your things right now, I'm calling the cops." But before I could make another move, Bradley lunged. With surprising speed for someone his size, he came at me, fists swinging. It was like the final straw that broke the camel's back. I dodged his swing easily and, in one motion, elbowed him in the solar plexus, sending him crashing to his knees. "You want to do this? In my own house," I said, my voice as cold as ice. "You think you can threaten me and get away with it?" Bradley tried to get up, but he was gasping for air, too weak and out of shape to fight back. He was no match for me physically or mentally. And then came Karen. She stormed into the basement, her leopard print tracksuit flapping behind her like a cape. "Get your hands off my son," she screamed, rushing toward me with the fury of a woman who was about to lose her precious little boy. I let go of Bradley, who immediately ran to his mother like the whiny little brat he was. But Karen wasn't done yet. She pulled out her phone and called 911, painting me as the aggressor in the whole situation. 911. "Yes, I need police immediately." Karen's voice was high-pitched, nearly shattering my eardrums. "There's a black man threatening my son. He's being violent." I could hardly believe it. Here I was, in my own home, with a woman who had no right being there accusing me of being the criminal. I stayed calm, knowing how these calls worked. "Karen, hang up the phone. You're the one who's trespassing here. This is my house." But it was already too late. The wheels of the lie were in motion. She wasn't going to back down. She was going to make sure I was the villain in this whole mess. The sirens were getting closer now. The police would be here soon, and Karen was doing everything she could to make this look like my fault. It wasn't just the invasion of my house that was happening here, right? Was the complete distortion of the truth. I knew that when the police arrived, they'd treat it as a legitimate emergency. But when they saw the evidence, when they saw the destruction, it would all come crashing down for Karen and Bradley. And crash down it did. When the police arrived, the confusion was palpable. They didn't know what to make of the situation. But when I explained everything, when I showed them the footage from my security cameras, their faces changed. Karen's lies were unraveling. The officers took control. They started questioning her, and for the first time, I saw Karen squirm. She had no answers. She couldn't explain why she'd let herself into my house, why she thought she had the right to move her son in without permission. And then she tried the most absurd defense of all. She claimed that I didn't deserve my house, that somehow I had it because of affirmative action. The room went dead silent. Even her lawyer looked like he wanted to crawl under the table. "You're claiming I don't deserve my own home because of my race?" I asked, my voice deadly calm. "Karen, you've just made your biggest mistake." It all came crashing down after that. The judge sentenced Karen to 6 months in county jail, 2 years of probation, and ordered her to pay restitution for the damages to my property. Bradley got 3 months in jail, 2 years of probation, and was ordered to complete job training. Justice had been served, and in the end, Karen and Bradley got exactly what they deserved. But the real satisfaction came when I received a text message from Bradley weeks later. An apology. A real apology. And maybe, just maybe, this was the wake-up call he needed to finally grow up. I thought about that for a long time, sitting in my quiet, repaired basement with a cold beer in my hand. The lesson here wasn't just about standing up to entitled people, it was about the importance of protecting what's yours, no matter who tries to take it. What do you think? Was I too harsh? What would you have done in my place? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to like and share this story if you think justice was served.